Yo, I'm very happy about I woke up this morning excited. I have butterflies in my stomach, Mike Muse. That doesn't happen often. So when those moments happen, you got to cherish it and know when you're in a moment.
Right.
You know, and it occurred to me, I hadn't been to work in a couple of weeks, and Torch told me Emery Jones. Somebody reached out about Emery Jones. I said, nah. Vegas? He said, yeah, Emery Jones is coming up to they coming to New York. They want to do, and he's going to get on the mic. Does he know we got cameras in the room? He said, yeah, he knows that. He's here for it. I said, man, listen, that meant so much to me because you talk about a relationship of 34 years that he spoke about with his relationship with Sean Carter, Jay-Z. You know, it's realer than the aesthetic. It's realer than the dollar signs. It's realer than the fame, the celeb, the accolades. It goes deeper than that when you are connected to a person for 34 years. I've been connected to my partner, King Tech, for 35 years. So I can identify with the word loyalty. It means a little something different each decade.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
it ain't just because you bought the Puma sneakers make you loyal.
Yeah.
It's a little more to it than that. And then when I mentioned this earlier that Emery Jones did something with me that was so interesting because I've kind of navigated through this business and folks know me, but they don't know me. Right, there's a lot of stuff that I don't reveal on the mic. I'm not from that generation. And Emery Jones reached out to me. I won't get into detail about what it was, but I was curious to why that man was reaching out to me. I knew of him through the Jay-Z verses, and I respected him because that man respected him. And he invited me to a drink, and we sat down at a bar. We had a drink, and I'm still trying to peep game, like, yo, what's up? What's going on, man? What we doing here? You know, and the conversation was really about the type of people they are, who he is, and how he sees me, the type of person I am.
Beautiful.
And for that, he chose to reach out and say, let me treat you to a drink.
Yes.
I stopped. I had a whole lot of shit going on. I said, man, what time? I'm coming by myself. And we sat and had that drink. And I'm gonna tell you something, Emery. I've done this a long time. Jay, I got pictures of Jay at my house in California from the 90s, dog. Like sitting up in the studio and we chopping it up. You know, I'll go back to the Priority Records distribution, right? And I've never had someone reach out to me like that. I was just curious to where it would go. And from that, it helped me understand the type of person that you are. Beyond the lights, the success, and all of those different things. Always appreciated that about you. I ended up doing stuff for Roc Nation Sports because of that. I ended up hosting a few boxing matches at the Oakland Coliseum because of that. I was on TV doing it and everything because of that. I got a picture with Colin Kaepernick and Stephen Curry in the middle of the ring
I remember that.
because of Emery Jones.
Okay.
Okay, let's give a round of applause from Emery Jones, man. He's been standing solid with Roc Nation,
Yes.
with Rockefeller,
Yes.
with Uber Technologies,
Yes.
with Puma, with Duce, with all the different things they do.
Ooh.
He's been there. And if what they created, and then we're going to talk, what you all have created, in my opinion, when we look for guidance and we look for information or we look for tutelage or teachings, you've created a blueprint, no pun intended, how we could become our better selves. Under these circumstances, under this environment, under this society that was created for us not to become our better selves, how you could navigate through that and rise above it.
Yes.
And then we tap into our true destination, our true potentials. We're watching that with you all, and you're a major part of it because your loyalty has been celebrated and been honored for decades. So I want to welcome you to the show. Emery Jones is here, man. Y'all better.
Welcome, Emery.
Vegas Jones is here. Bet on yourself.
Absolutely.
Look what happens when he bet on himself.
Absolutely.
Hey man, before you took the vacation,
Right.
before you became a resident of a
Right.
place you didn't particularly care to be at, like who were your favorite? Like how did you and Jay first meet? How did that happen?
We had a mutual friend.
Okay.
You know, there's a mutual friend that I think, you know, now with the world being the internet, everybody looking for sound bites to take and make things out of, you know, what it is. We was mutual friends and, you know, he brought me to New York and from there, you know, some good, some bad, some ugly happened, but we still here. I think, you know, for me, I wake up every day just trying to give some good energy to the world. So I'm on some positive.
There you go.
So it's like, you know, everybody got their narrative of what it is. Why you leaving this person out, leaving? It's like you can't say but so much. You know what I'm saying? I done told my truth from day one. I have no need to make it extra. I think sometimes when people dealing with whatever they dealing with, you know, we choose to make it what they think it should be. In the world right now, like, regardless of what you bring in the room, everybody looking for the negative sound bite.
Yeah. That ain't true.
Nah.
Is it disappointing? Like, when I look at, for me, it's different. I'm in a different position, you know, and I try not to judge when it comes to media, right? But there's a lot of pandering in media. There's a lot of what I call selling out, because people are becoming stuff in front of that mic and that camera that they not in real life, you know. And I just feel like now we're evolving at such a rate where you do have the Jay-Z's, and then you do have the Tech Nines, and then you do have the La Russells. On every level, you got these entrepreneurial spirits that's leading us into kind of like a financial security. But when we go at each other, you know,
I mean, that's just who we are, right? I think that's one of the things that eventually we got to become better as a people, right?
Yeah.
Because the first thing we're going to do is be opinionated. Right? Especially with rap and being in that world. Rap is a contact, opinionated sport. You know what I mean? But I think for me, why I did this mixtape stuff and here talking to you, like, I turned down a lot of things, but I felt like me and you had a different relationship. And it's going to be deeper than me telling old war stories you know, who was what, and amplifying that. I think is the human side.
It's the human side.
And I felt like I wanted to give these youngins a platform to look at it whereas though they ain't had to walk into the radio station and be in a program. Because, you know, all due respect to, you know, XM and all the radio stations, remember the main word that keeps popping up: programming. So it's a beautiful big box, but it's still a box. And one thing about culture, for me, hip hop in particular, we have never been in a box. That's why we here. That's why we still going. You know, that's why it's so important that, you know, shows like this and real hip hop heads get a chance to hear it real raw and not, you know, not from a negative bone. I know you don't wake up. You don't wake up chasing that.
No.
Not in the slightest.
You have no idea.
You know what I mean? Like,
He's
like
very intentional.
Exactly. And for me, that's what hip hop has always been when you look at the core of it, right? So I just felt like it's an opportunity for me that been around this my whole life, ain't never did a music project till now.
This is it. This is your first one.
First one.
So you are EPing this, right? So you did everything from pick the music, the rappers, the songs. Tell us about the process.
I mean, the process for me is like music. You know, I look at the world. No one's reinventing the wheel, right?
Yeah.
So I have to look at it holistically from the project of Puma. Like, the only reason why I did the sneaker again because I wanted to do the mixtape.
Oh, okay. You was always thinking like wide view. Yeah, the eagle's eye.
Because the sneaker itself is this the 5th year anniversary of the sneaker. We did the sneaker custom for Complex Con 5 years ago. They was reselling for $2,500 on you know, sneaker blogs, and you know, everybody was like, "Yo, we got to do this for the, you know, release," and I kept saying no, because I don't want to be defined by how many sneakers I sell. That ain't my relationship with Puma. I didn't, you know, Puma, for me, out of this 11, 12 years I've been there, it's never been about selling sneakers. I feel like us as a culture, we do more than sell sneakers, right? I think, you know, when you look at us, we don't have no export. From America, the only export you have is culture.
That's something. That's real though.
Put that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So when you walk in the room and you protecting that, and I'm always protecting that. Me is like I don't want to do nothing to put a slide to culture and hip hop. I want to add? How can I continue to add? How can I be, add a page or add a line? So what? You don't got to give me a whole page. Let me get at least one line in that book at the end of the day, right? And I feel like that's what the mixtape did. Is just adding another line to this whole book of culture that made me who I am.
Emery Jones, man. You call a mixtape? What do you call it?
The mixtape.
The mixtape.
Yeah,
okay.
But the name of it, we called it Humble Souls.
Humble Souls. That's what I was looking for. Humble Souls.
Humble Souls. Because if you know me, I'm just a humble soul.
You
and
truly
that's a
are.
great double entendre right there.
Yeah, that's why we flipped it to the souls of the sneakers. It's like.
Let me ask you this, man. I remember when I first started doing business with corporations, right? And I used to walk in there, and I was wildly, I would be myself. I had a good gift of gab, Oakland, East Oakland,
Yeah, absolutely.
You already know him. We love you in Oakland.
Absolutely.
You already know. But I remember me sitting in Silicon Valley with a venture capitalist, and I had this concept, this idea we were going to do. Shit was brilliant, man. Me, King Tech, we was going to pitch it the whole nine. I realized I wasn't grabbing their attention. You know what I mean? I was like, what am I not saying? What is the language that needs to trigger their response where they can see how this is going to benefit them? Because I already see it, but I wasn't explaining it. I didn't know how to communicate it properly. When you first start doing business above board, right? How did you adjust to that new world? And then was it something you took from the old world that helped you, that was transferable in the new world?
For me, I think that's the thing, right? We walk in this big corporate room and you like, how can I adjust to the room? But in reality, the room need to adjust to us.
Okay.
Because we the sauce, right? So if we the sauce, we gonna make it taste good, right? If you don't let us be us, we can't help you make it taste good. So it's like if I go into this beautiful restaurant and it could be beautiful, great ambiance, but if the food don't taste good, I ain't coming back.
Yeah.
Right? That's what we do. So at the end of the day, we coming in the room respectfully, understanding and saluting to all the things that's there, but we're there for a reason. We're there to bring what we are and who we are to this this corporate thing, right? And I think once you lock in to understand that, it's still the same conversation. The words might change up a little bit, but I think being us is the key. I think a lot of times we walk in the room and first thing corporate want to do is tell us how to be us. Yeah. How? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah. It does.
I get you help me out so I can look at it this way and this way, but most of the time they like, nah, you should be this. And I'm like, wait a minute. Wow. I get it, but this is why I'm here, right? I'm here because you want this. You want this, right? And I think that balance of understanding that, like me, I walk in the room and totally know who I am. Totally know what I am, totally know what culture is, totally represent it to the fullest. So it's like I have to walk a fine line of being critiqued because we critique sport, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's like I gotta, always keep that in mind, but I also gotta be me. And I think with you, when you walked in that room, you gift the gab, all that, but you was, looking at the situation like, how can I make them understand? They understand you already because you're in the room. In the room. You're in the room already, right? It's just, it's like anything else. When you're dating, you gotta get comfortable, right? You gotta get comfortable, right? And sometimes, the girl might like you, but she ain't gonna tell you she like you. So she gotta make you uncomfortable.
It's how you react.
Even though she's all the way in.
She's all the way in. So I was a younger man then, and I think to take that even further, because I'm looking at Emery Jones, who's also affiliated with one of the greatest hip hop movements of all time. So when you walk in the room, you ain't just walking in the room. All of that is walking in the room. That legacy is walking in the room too. I'm thinking of Emery Jones when he first came back out and then going into these corporate situations. were you already prepared, or what advice would you give to folks who are going into these corporate, who've never been in that environment? You know?
I think is what you said is like when you go in and you might not be on the same page, but you're in the room, right?
Yeah.
I think you got to have that patience of understanding that, you know, you're here for a reason. Stay your course. You know what I mean? Hold your ground, but continue to learn and grow as you figuring out what this, you know, what this going to be. So for me, even though, you know, I can walk in the room with this legacy behind me, right? I still walk in as humble as possible.
Yeah.
I still grounded as possible. I don't throw that around. I don't, you know, I don't take that for granted. You know what I mean? I don't, you know, use that as something that gives me extra leg room. I don't do that. You know what I mean? I still walk in the room level-headed, treating everybody, looking at everybody at the same level. You know what I mean? So for me, that keeps that patience and balance for me, because I need you to understand me even more than just the legacy, because once you understand me, it makes you understand the legacy even more.
There you go. I like that. Emery Jones is here, man. I'm going to just keep firing off questions. When you became the head of lifestyle, is it the head of lifestyle for Roc Nation?
It's a few titles.
It's a few titles. Initially, it was.
I take that.
You'll take that too.
I take that.
Okay, man.
I take that.
So I look at. Let me maybe qualify why I'm talking to you like this, because I've known you all for a long time, you know, and watched it from the '90s to now, and I tell people that's a microcosm. Not the lip service we see on Instagram when folks get in the spotlight and they become instant bosses with, you know, whatever the rhetoric they're spitting. But here you see the proof, you know, the proof of concept in what Rockefeller Records, then Roc Nation, has been able to do. At one point, when you look at the formation of it, you know, what I'm trying to get to, Emery, is I've done stuff off books. And I've been on books for decades, right? But when you off book, you moving different. It's a little erratic. It's you can't predict. It's very unpredictable. When you guys became more successful and more legitimately successful, what changed? Did y'all start having meetings?
I think you know, when people look at the finished product and you like, oh, they button all the way up, right? But we still hustling.
Okay.
We still greatness. Greatness is a, you know, you can't walk in the room and just think because we got it mapped out, that's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
You got to shift this, you know, something might happen. And so a lot of things you see polished is to the 9th hour.
Okay. So
it's last minute. As being a hustler, you got to know how to adapt and adjust and, you know, and until it's done, you know, last minute, you know, you got to continue to figure out, you know, oh, no, this ain't right. I got to move here, and this ain't right, because that's what make things great. You know what I mean? It's that last 5%. You know, we can have it all mapped out, all written down, and this is what it's going to be. But when you get into it, that last 5% is from all directions. It's just like that's what's going to make something good. Last 5%, you do it correctly. That's what's going to make it great.
That's what makes it.
And I think that's that hustle mentality that you never forget. That's that being all over the place.
Yeah.
In moments, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. When you walk out the room, you're gonna be shit buttoned up and you know, tight, like, you know, you had it planned.
The appearance.
You had it planned all the way, but it's just the way. It's just that hustle spirit, right?
Yeah. Did you ever had a venture that didn't turn out the way you hoped it did?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's been a few of those, but I think in the process of a few of them, that Puma example, right? Okay. It's not, you can come with a great idea, but if you don't have the team and everybody executing it correctly, you know, it don't always add up, right? So at the end of the day, I can't blame the team. Even though somebody might have dropped the ball, I got to look in the mirror and say what I could have did better, right? But then I look at a lot of them situations, but still wake up every day and say, nah, you know what? Even the ones that didn't work, I'm still batting 1,000.
Still batting 1,000. Emery Jones.
You know what I'm saying? I'm still batting 1,000 because, you know, it might didn't work in some sense, but it did open up the door for it to work for somebody else after me, or take the right things that we did do right to push over here to help something else grow, to help something else blossom. So I don't look at it as a loss, you know what I'm saying? I look or something wrong. I just look at it as that's how you get better. That's how you get sharper, right?
Yeah.
Ain't no way in the world you can walk in and say, I won every time. Like, there's no way possible. Then how you gonna continue to get better? Right. You need some,
Yeah.
So it's like it's been a few of them, but I feel like even those was wins for me. Because it makes you have that reality check of like, yeah, things are going great, but don't get too comfortable.
Don't get too comfortable.
Don't get too comfortable.
There you go. Come on. Humble souls, baby. Humble souls. Don't get too comfortable,
don't
man.
Get too comfortable.
The mixtape is available exclusively on Puma, or how can people get it?
Well, this is one of my favorite parts of this. I'm not a technology guy.
Okay.
Right? But we did this technology where as though you download the mixtape and the content off the sneaker. Right? So it's off the sneaker and then
QR code?
Come on, man.
No, it's a chip in the shoe.
Wow.
It's a chip in the shoe.
Really?
But the beautiful thing about this way, and this how much you love to just pay homage, right? For me, I remember the first time I've ever seen some technology like that was on Crenshaw and Slauson.
Yeah.
I went to Nip, had relaunched the store. And I walked in and the whole store was that.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like
QR code.
everything,
Yeah.
like your tags, the wall. And I was like, this is a kid from Slauson and Crenshaw. Like, what the? Years ago.
Yeah.
So the witness that then, and then my partner AJ, who Alexander-John, who designed, and we've been working on this, and he's one of them techie guys too, and he was like, you know what, let's do this and that, and I'm like, I'm old school, I'm like, but I'm a team player, I'm like, okay, but it just takes me back and remind me of my great friend Nip,
Nipsey Hussle, man.
of how far ahead he was, and how he thought. So to be able to do something even in the light of that is just paying homage for me. You know what I'm saying? It's more than anything. It's just to be able to sit here and tell the world how great he was and how forward a thing he was. To be able to add to that is like a win for me.
There you go, man.
It's a fucking win.
I love it. Emery Jones is here, man. You know what I always rock with y'all? Like, even when it was kind of that media East Coast West Coast tension in the I'm going back to the 90s. You were like younger than Emery. But I always noticed that Jay and always he didn't discriminate to me. Like, he always gravitated. There was something about the West Coast that I think he really liked.
I mean, think about it. You the world, man. Like, you might have some different slang, but we all the same.
Yeah.
In some kind of way, we all the same. Like, when you get to that point of life of being, a human, you know what I mean? Like, you can't get caught up in, just where I'm from, because like we say, where we from, we got good guys, we got bad guys, we got goofies, we got, that's everywhere, right? So I think when you look at, West Coast and how you have to look at how they navigate and survive that and understand that. And then, like you say, music is the connector, right? It's like universal language for us, right? I was listening to West Coast music in Maryland, like growing up, you know what I mean? So it was like I was in Maryland in a country town, but my palette of music helped me see the world.
So who were you into?
DJ Quick. Quick was like when I seen Quick with the long joint on with the I was like, and then when the music dropped, I was
just like Compton. You was like, yeah.
I was like, I totally get it. I mean, for me, growing up, Colors is my favorite movie.
Damn, Colors. You know
what I'm saying?
Sean Penn.
Like
Robert
Duvall. Like Colors gave me a chance to be in that world and depict what was going on before I even had a chance to come to LA. So yes, it was told through one lens, but I understood the pain of those who look like me in that lens, right? You know what I mean? It's like it's quick to judge and say, why they that and why they that. Like, you can't. I'm not judging nobody.
Yeah.
I'm not judging you why you do what you do or don't what you do, because you can't judge me. I'm gonna do what I gotta do if that's what I gotta do, right? So I looked at it through that lens. So I was, Quick was like one of my favorites back then.
Quick, man.
You know what I mean? Quick was just like that. It was that. It was that. You know what I mean? And then like just music in general. Like I always respected the Bay because I looked at the Bay as Bay was in a box.
Yeah.
Like even though you was in the Bay, listen, it was like everything. It wasn't no. Bay reminds me of Chicago, Midwest. Like Midwest is the same way. Like you're not in a box when it comes to what they like. They listening to it all. They tapped into it all. And I think for me growing up in Maryland, you got to figure, Baltimore and DC is family next door, and my family is both. But that's oil and water, right?
Yeah. Just
right there. DC always had their own sound. Baltimore always did their own thing, and then family coming up the coast, and we could be on that East Coast, and but it's like, nah, man, the world is the world.
The world
man.
is the world.
World is the world.
Let me ask you this question, and this might be kind of controversial, so I'm not sure if you're gonna answer it. You have the right not to answer it. Who made New Balance popular, DC or Baltimore?
Listen, I think when you look at it, this is the time was though we can come together and be family.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give both of them that.
Okay.
I'm gonna give both of them that because when you look at the world, New Balance is popping right now.
Yeah,
right?
it is.
But it never left from there.
Okay.
Never. It's like, think about it. All my homies and family, like you go through Baltimore right now, and it's like out of 10 houses, 8 of them boarded up, right? On each block. But everybody got a $140 New Balance. Their whole life. Yeah. From grandmom to mom to the like it ain't no thing. It's like, and then when you talk about back in the day, when you talk about the dope boys and everything else, it was like the classic. It was like that New Balance gray sneaker was their Air Force One forever. Like there's no getting around it. So for me, I'm not even gonna make it a controversy. I'm gonna let both of them own that.
Okay.
And stand on it.
I like how you did that.
And stand on it.
I like how you did that, Emery Jones. There's a line, Jay, I'm trying to think of what song it was, where he says, we look around and this even surprised us.
Absolutely.
The success that, maybe it was God did.
It is God.
Okay. The success that you've had, like as a collective, is unmatched, right? Yes. It's the first of its kind, shout out to others who come through hip hop like LL Cool J or Birdman or all these different folks who done it their own way.
Master P,
right?
Go out
E40 and Click.
Yes.
All these different people, young folks like Jay Walt. I'm just shouting out Bay Area people now. And I'm thinking about. I know I've seen a lot, bro. I've moderated a panel discussion at the United Nations.
And you pinch yourself, right?
Bro.
You still like
Emery, I'm sitting here and there's ambassadors from all over the world and it's hip hop. It's like 2000, early 2000s, and I'm in all these spaces all the time that none of us are in, right? And I'm like, fuck it, I'm repping it, I'm going hard. And I'm moderating this panel discussion about free water wells that Jay-Z did overseas in Africa. So me and Jay are in the United Nations holding court. And that was one of those moments I looked around and pinched myself. I cannot believe that I'm here. What's some of the moments you've had recently?
I mean, look, when they said I was coming here, you see what you said. You was like, wait a minute, Emery getting on the camera. He knows camera. like for me, moments like this is just as important as the sneaker. Okay. Because I don't usually do this, and I'm not doing this for some extra likes or nothing, right? I'm doing it to try to help pay forward what was blessed for me, right? So you look at it as a collective, what's going on. I wake up every day. Personally, Emery Jones wake up every day pinching myself. Yeah. Think about it. I'm a kid that's from a town that's 13,000 people today.
Today, in 2023, yeah.
Today. And, took a chance to go to New York City for all the wrong reasons. And New York and hip-hop and all that gave me a chance you know, to be in this position, even with the vacation. You know, the vacation was a part of, that's, you know, that's part of life, right? I can't sit here and cry over spilled milk. You know, it is what it is, you know what I mean? So for me, I pinch myself every single day. Every single day. Like, I just came back from Germany with Puma and because we got a new CEO and all that, new people moving around, and I'm in Germany playing cricket.
Different.
Yes, awesome.
Very different.
And had a blast.
Yes.
Come on, man.
Cricket.
Cricket. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so you know, when you look at that and have those moments, the small moments, the big moments, is all the same when you look at it. Like,
So playing cricket is the same as being able to see that Super Bowl performance with Dr. Dre. And
absolutely. Like,
yeah, it's all pinch me moments.
It's all pinch me moments, man. Like, really, like, I remember leaving Germany and I'm in the airport and an Asian lady walk up to me and say, "You was amazing in the cricket game." And I'm like,
That's awesome.
It all feels like a dream.
Awesome.
You were amazing in that cricket game. You thought you'd never hear that in a lifetime.
Right. It wasn't even like on a list. You know what I'm hearing from you, Emery? Like, and it's so good to hear from you because you are a man who can distinguish when your intuition is on the mic, when your ego is on the mic. Obviously, you have so much humility that is woven through all of these days of your existence. And you're clearly someone who understands and can cultivate your own light, even when you have a friend that has so much spotlight on them. And I think that can be difficult for a lot of folks. We're in a time now where one can become very popular through social media in ways that they haven't before. You know, fame feels more accessible for a lot of folks because of social media, and significance is something that humans all want. And if you see perhaps a friend has more of it than you, it can kind of scratch on that wound. What would you say about the spirit of envy and how someone can disrobe themselves of it?
I mean, I'm gonna go back to, you know, me. I'm gonna look at my brother Jay, right, and everybody see him as Jay-Z, the entrepreneur, the game changer. But for me, I go back to the human side, right? We far from perfect. You know, there's some things to work on, some things, a lot of mistakes we done made, a lot of things you live with, and you got to continue to get better, right? But I think it goes back to the human side, right?
Yeah.
As being a good person first and being a good human first. And I think when you tap into that and understand that part, you deal with the envies and all that stuff. You have a better chance of seeing it and understanding and dealing with it. Because, like, I ain't gonna lie, this morning, yesterday it was one of them days was though I let something get to me, and then I, went to sleep on it and woke up and was like, you know what? And it was funny, right when I woke up, my brother B.I. called me. And he was like, B.I. called me, he was like, yo, man, forget all that. And I was like, you know what? I just woke up and slept on it and felt the exact same way. He said, good. You know what I mean?
Forward.
Like, because I can't, I can't change how people think. I can't change how, the world perceive. And guess what? I get it, because this ain't, you ain't used to seeing this. You ain't used to, how can you understand it? So I get it. I get that energy. I get that negative side sometimes. I get that thought. But if I feed into that, then I become that. Now I make that a thing, and I'm not here to make that a thing.
No, it can't be your identity.
I can't. You know what I mean? That's all I can do is continue to walk in just humbly as I am, and like you said, continue to wake up every day. It's like, how can I continue to be a better person? How can I try to continue to get better? You know what I mean? Because like I said, I'm far from perfect.
Emery Jones is here, man. We got callers. We're gonna reveal some sneakers in a second. I think I'm gonna get surprised with my Roc Nation chain. I'm not sure. Somebody Somebody said I might get one. I wasn't sure if that was true or not.
It's at the Brooklyn Public
No
Library.
pressure, Emery. No pressure. But Mike, you got a question?
Yeah, Emery, I know you don't speak out often, and so I really am glad that you are talking, and just sitting here listening to you just made me wondering about the importance of your generation talking to this younger generation. And I was talking with some other individuals in a particular different sector, and they were saying how that's missing. And as a result of it missing in this other sector, a lot is getting lost, and a lot of the younger generations and players are having trouble right now. Does these type of conversations, happen in private? You don't have to tell me what is being said, but does it happen in private? And if not, could you or would you like to see those type of exchange between your generation with the younger generation happen?
I think not everybody loves to be in front of the camera. I don't love to be in front of the camera, but I think it's needed at times, right? And I think, you got to talk to the right people. That's why I felt like Sway was the perfect person for me, right? And myself, when I came home, people always ask that question, what you going to do with this? When I first came home, you got to understand my mission was that. I was in the trenches every single day, like going through it and showing up and talking about, like, not just talking about it, showing, but then being presence. You know what I'm saying? Being present at the time. So it was funny. I seen Meek the other day at the gala, and the first thing Meek was telling somebody was like, man, Em was in the trenches with us. You know what I'm saying? Like, because for those who we talking about, the younger generation, they gotta believe you first.
Right.
If they don't believe you, they ain't listening.
They don't listen. They can't
They're
even hear
not
you.
listening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just because I got a little vacation on my belt, don't make it the end all be all. There's a few people got vacations on their belt, but it ain't. That don't make it the end all be all. And I think for me, I've always done that, but I think I had to take a step back from that thing and say, one time in my life, let me put myself first. Right? Because if I put myself first, I'm going to put myself in a position where as though I can be able to give back more. Not just, monetary, just in general, like relationship. This Puma thing has happened because of relationships.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? These young artists, they don't, you can't walk in a room and say, oh, let me just do that. So I had to take the relationship side of it, of being that person, like you say, like always showing up, always, always. Like I have to look at it through that lens of, let me show up first. And I did that for that first 5 years. My brothers and everybody used to be like, man, what you doing? You know what I mean? But I had to.
Yeah.
I had to. I didn't have no luxury. I didn't come home and had no luxury to say my life is fully changed. I still have to go get it. Don't get me wrong, I'm blessed to have such a support system that was there, but I still, as a man, I had to go get it, right? And, taking that time to, tap in and now show from a distance, but still tap in, I think now it comes back full circle. Is like my next chapter, how do I want to approach this?
Yeah.
And I can only speak for me. Everybody got a different way of going towards it, but I've always made it my business to give back. That's why with the guys, a lot of these guys on the tape, our relationship started way before this mixtape happened. Like when you bring a new artist in the building, most of the building ain't gonna really adjust to him unless they see him as a star yet.
Yeah.
They like, it's too many people in front of you. But for me, I like them as humans. They came in as good, humble souls right from the door. So I'm like, oh, whatever I can do for you, I'm in. If it's just showing up, talking, little things. So if I did the same thing when you said about the generation, that's how I looked at them. So we got a core. So then when it came time for me to do this project, I'm glad my soundbite to that. Think about it. I bring these kids to LA for 4 days. They had never been in the studio together, never hung out together, never did no real music together. I bring them for 4 days, and we did 80% of this project in 4 days.
4 days.
Wow.
Come on, man.
Because of that synergy of they trust in me because I've always been there in a way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now, and that's that thing. Because now it's like, even with the music is great, the sneakers are great, but I want the world to feel the human side of them.
Yeah.
Like, I can't wait till the world meet them as humans. Then you like, oh, I can put this thing in perspective even more. So it's like, I have to give back and I have to do that. That's why I'm at Puma.
Yeah.
Because my intentions was when I came home, I was like, I'm watching sneaker culture and how sneaker culture drove the kids, right? And the world had everybody telling the kids the only way you're cool wearing Jordan and Nikes. And I was like, nah, that ain't how we grew up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sneakers is sneakers. We ain't grew up that way. So I intentionally didn't wear Jordan and Nikes. And I was like, wear all the other brands just so we go back to sneakers. Like, think about it. Go back to what sneakers was. Like, back then, the sneaker wasn't come out and say, this is the number one sneaker. We made it the number one sneaker.
Yeah.
You had to go find it and be like, oh, turn it into a thing. And then everybody's like, years down the line, oh, remember the Bo Jackson? Yes. Remember this? So I intentionally did that just to show them that, nah, brands don't make us. We make the brands. So I always intentionally always do things like that in that sense, because when you make it about that, you alienating the everyday kid.
Right.
Yeah.
He's an everyday kid, and I'm like, why you gonna alienate the everyday kid from a business perspective? Yeah. Because like you said, you got kids, right? And you work hard, and I work hard. So that means I work hard for my kid to get whatever they ask for, as long as they doing what they're supposed to do. So at the end of the day, that kid got way more disposable cash.
Because he's doing
That's what he's supposed to do,
yeah. I like that.
He got way more than- So I'm like, how do I alienate the everyday kid? So it's always been my intentions to be in that way.
Yeah.
Because for me, when I look back at, the OGs gave us a lot, but then a lot, the OGs gave us some things that you got to set back and question, because it's like, wait a minute, what you mean go to jail, get your stripes?
Right.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
Yeah. What you mean?
Yeah.
You can't tell a kid that. You know what I'm saying? But I can't hold that against them because they didn't have the knowledge. Right?
They didn't have those OGs.
They didn't have the knowledge. Yeah. They didn't have the knowledge. So I'm not making it a holding against them. But, when you look back to them things, it's like, okay. So now being in this position now, it's like collectively, like I'm here because I want to give Sway his flowers. So even though you're interviewing me, that's how much he means to me and what he means to the culture. So I feel good being here.
Yes.
I appreciate it, man. Hey, listen. And he gave me sneakers too, man. Let's
That's your favorite type of flower.
Man, I appreciate you, and I'm loving this conversation. I see we're gonna have a part 2 down the line, though. We're gonna play something off the mixtape. That's how we're gonna premiere that.
How about this? Do you send him the link?
We got it.
So, I feel like, no one's heard the mixtape besides who I sent it to, and then we did a listen session on the roof, right? And we got a single out now, but since we here on some Oakland, some Oakland vibes, we got some Oakland vibes on here too.
Who you got?
Huh? We got some Oakland vibes. So it would be nice if we could, drop that joint.
We got. Let me see. Hold on.
Ruben and Guap Dad.
Oh, you got Guap Dad, Ruben Vincent.
Yeah. I want to give you context of this, right?
Yeah.
I remember we was in the studio, and I was getting I didn't have no cut, so I got the guy was like giving me a little shape something, and Guap Dad come in. So I didn't really know who he was, but his energy was everything.
Right.
I'm like, man, it's got great energy. You know what I'm saying? So he came in. He started rounding everybody up. He like, yo, I don't care what you doing. Y'all need to come in this room and feel this magic happening. Right? Ruben is in another session. Ruben is in another session. The A&R go gets Ruben out the session and bring him in the room. And right then, we set that cameras on, I sparked up, we talked through it and created this song at that moment.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Like on video, like
very
at that moment. And I remember it, but I remember when I got the track back and heard, I was like, that's the thing, context. Like, just not the music, the context of it, right? Yeah. And to watch that happen in real time, and everybody, and then RJ, he comes from another room and he starts humming on it. Like, it's just happening in real time. And I'm like, that's why I got nothing but love for Guap Dad, because he was like, man, you gotta come feel this energy. This is something special happening.
Wow.
You know?
I like it. We got it. Let's play. What's the name? Do we know the name? We so undercover. We ain't even got the time. Okay.
Outside.
They didn't even tell Emery the name of the song. Outside. Okay. And then people want to find the mixtape once again. Where do they go to find it?
Well, right now we got the single out on the sneaker is the only way you can really mess with it. I think August 10th we're gonna really release the whole full thing.
Okay.
And later after that we're gonna get it to all DSPs and it's gonna live. But it's just right now we just having a little moment of
having
just
a good time. Humble souls, man. Hey, listen, we're gonna drop this. It's a world premiere. You ain't never heard this. Your first time hearing. This is why you got Sirius XM. This is why you tune into this show right here. This is what we bring to the table. And we're gonna take your calls after that. All right, Sway in the Morning, Shade 4-5. Let it drop, DB. The legendary salute to my motherfucker DJ Clue. Give it up for DJ Clue.
Absolutely.
DJ Clue, they don't talk Clue up enough.
Absolutely.
They don't give Clue enough props.
Listen, you see how I just said? I'm
did.
here for Sway.
There you go.
I got DJ Clue. So you can't tell me I ain't winning, man.
Oh,
like
you already won.
I'm winning, man.
You
like
got the trophy already.
Like it's just that's the thing. Like for me, is like just paying forward, man. I know what Clue meant. Mixtapes, right? So when we was doing this, and we did this list about best mixtapes, and the youngins had all that up there, and a lot of them I didn't know, but I understood because that's what they grew up off of. So that's what they knew. But Clue was on that list. Yeah. And the team was like, yo, we got to have somebody hosting. Me, I didn't want to go and overstep my boundaries, but the team was insisted. Like Clue, we reached out, had a conversation, and Clue was like, I was in. And then I came, and I was like, he said he was in before he heard the music. Yeah. Because it was like, it was still raw. And it was like, nah, I want to go to New York, play the music so he can wrap his round, make sure we go molded. I didn't want it, like, this got to be a collective molded. And, got in with him and the legendary Doro. Come on, man. Like, what we, like, wow. Come on, man.
Really?
Like
you got to get a context. Like, you got to talk about that.
Come on, man. Like, it's like, to feel good to be able to, have that and they understanding and loving what's going on is like, I just feel like it's just going to open up the door for us to just think that way even more. And, and it's going to be a nice wave of some more youngins and just talented artists just coming through, finding their way through this big program.
Big program, back to the program. I like how you did that.
Emery, y'all got to drop that track sooner, though, man.
You got to get on that, man.
That's cold. That's so great for the summertime.
Okay.
It's perfect for now.
Let me take a couple of these callers that have been waiting for an hour. Anthony Yonkers, quick call. Go for it. Real quick. Go.
What up, Big Ant?
Good morning, everybody.
Hey.
Honored to speak to you, Emery.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. Like you said earlier, when people first hear about Jay-Z, they think the entrepreneur. So I wanted to ask you on that topic, what was it like watching Jay-Z progress as a businessman over the years, and what did you learn from him while observing him?
I think for me, like watching him understanding that he's on his time. During that process of finding yourself, even from, getting starting the music and then becoming a businessman, I think the beauty of him that everybody got to understand, he stays on his time. He's not chasing. He stays on his time and at his pace. And staying on his time and his pace then gave him the leeway to be in the position he's in.
Good question, Anthony. Thank you. All right, you're a citizen, Anthony.
Sway in the Morning.
Michael's on the line from Maryland. What up, Mike?
Hey, Mike.
Good morning. How's everybody?
Excellent. Go for it. What's your question?
Hey, this is Bubbaloo, man. I remember when you came home, man, you came to the crib. One is my son, you know what I'm saying? So I just want to congratulate you. I just want to give a shout out to Sway, Adaptability.
Thank you.
Mike Hughes, because I listen to y'all every day. And this is the first time that I called, but I listen to y'all every day because my homeboy is on the airways. So I want to salute you, my brother.
Man, I appreciate that love, man.
I appreciate it, man. Mike, what's your who did he know?
He said I came to the crib, his son.
Oh, okay. All right. You had Emery Jones in your crib, man. What did you put plastic on the seat? You could sell tickets.
Alfie, my sister.
Who's your son?
Alfie.
Alfie.
Sound like he trying to grab him now.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, man, thanks for your call. You're a citizen, brother.
Sway in the morning.
Okay. All right. All right. Peace, man. I'm going to stop you for your whole high school motherfucking, you know. Emery, you remember me?
But it's all love because I feel like, you know, I look at myself as them.
Yeah.
Like I'm no different, right? It's just so happened I got a few wins under the belt and I got a great brotherhood and family that's winning, but you know, I wake up every day understanding that I'm no different than the person sitting across from me.
Yep.
There it is, man. Emery Jones, man. Let's take a look at these shoes before we go.
Oh, yeah.
All right, now, everybody got some.
Yeah.
Thank you, Emery.
Thank you, Emery. Hand that to Mike over there. Mike News. Everybody show their shoes, man.
Here we go, Mike.
Thank
Put
you.
that right there. Heather's not here. DB, you 11?
Yes, sir.
All right. Torch, what are you, Torch? What are you?
11 and a half.
Thank you.
11 and a half.
I got them right here.
There you go.
So it's 3 pair. So the thing about it is like the mixtape is like showing the evolution of music. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it started with the cassette tape.
You see this, Drew?
It started with the cassette tape to the CD player.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Hold up.
To the CD player.
All right.
To the MP3 player.
Yes.
So
it's
it's
our
just
whole evolution.
it's just a solution, you know, a salute to music of what we grew up on. You know what I mean?
See that?
And thank you, Emery, for bringing shoes for the whole crew.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Ooh.
Stand up guys. So let's pull them out. Everybody pause. Hey.
Oh,
Ooh,
please.
those are nice. Wow.
These are hard.
So that's based off the old TDK tape.
Crazy.
Oh my
That's
God.
the old TDK.
TDK tape. That's based off the Sony Walkman.
Thank you.
Yo,
Let me
this
see
is
what you got, Mike.
crazy,
Sony
bro.
Walkman.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Sony
Walkman.
Oh,
And then
this color is sick.
Oh
the
my
MP3.
gosh, Mike.
But
Oh
you
my
know what's
God.
my
Delicious
favorite part?
yellow.
What?
Look at the shoestring tips.
Oh, the plug-in. That's old school. You get
It's
those.
the details for me.
Yes.
The aux cord,
The
right?
ox cord. Pass the ox. Pass the ox.
Insane.
Wow.
Got the fast forward,
So
the skip.
crazy.
Very, very thoughtful.
These are amazing, bro, and I'm not
Oh
just
my
saying this because
God.
you're here.
No.
These are nice. I can't wait to put them on. They look comfortable.
Eject.
All right, yeah. Get up on these Pumas.
Yes.
Come on,
Hard.
take your humble
And then where's
souls
the
and
chip?
get up on it.
So the chip should be in, I think it's the right shoe.
The
Okay.
right shoe. Okay. Chip is in the right shoe.
Got
Oh
it.
my God.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
You could get the album and all that. It's gonna be on the chip.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Content, exclusive content. You know, us, you got to figure we recorded everything, the whole process. So
Yeah.
you got, you seeing the tape get made in real time. You know what I mean? So it's not like you can come and say we did this. It's like you see it happening in real time.
You have a gift, brother. Of you took something classic and timeless and made it current and now.
Wow.
Congratulations.
amazing,
You got a gift, brother.
Yeah.
No, listen, man. Like I said, I'm just paying for it, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. Like I
Absolutely.
said.
Especially to debut this during, the 50th anniversary,
Yes.
too. Just impeccable timing.
And like I say, from the technology, I want to say it one more time. Salute to my brother Nip for showing me and being the first one to ever show me that technology in real time.
Amen.
Like it was unbelievable.
Nipsey Hussle, man. He's still with us, man.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Hey,
Absolutely.
Emery Jones, D, thank you, brother. Emery Jones.
Emery Jones.
Hey,
Thank
man,
you.
listen, I appreciate you. Hey, I mean it sincerely. I appreciate you, family. Come on, man.
Respect.
We've been having these amazing moments.
Respect.
You
Wow.
know, we got to hang out. When I come back to L.A., I'll hit you up, man. How you like
Respect.
living in L.A.? You live in L.A.?
Nah, it's just, you know.
Oh,
Bi-coastal, baby.
Yeah.
No opping, no opping.
Congratulations, you guys. Look for the mixtape. Humble Souls. Make sure you support. Emery Jones is at Vegas_Jones. You can follow him. Emery, I appreciate you coming up here and you basically came into you came home, basically. You know, you came and hung out with family, and we just had a
Absolutely.
Thanksgiving, not even Thanksgiving. We had a Roc Nation Easter right here.
Absolutely.
Easter meal right here. I like that,
Absolutely.
man. And send my love to the whole entire team.
Absolutely.
I talked to Tata not too long ago, and I just love y'all energy, bro.
Absolutely.
I love what's going on. Anything you want to say in conclusion?
Man, thank you for having me, man.
Absolutely.
And salute the 50 years of hip hop, man.
50 years of hip hop.
That's why
man.
we here,
That's
man.
why we here.
Come on,
50
man.
years, man. Come on. And let's end with that song outside again.